What's up, Brew Roots listeners? You guys probably thought that we took a permanent hiatus because we've been super active on social media and we've been super active at releasing an episode, but we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, we're still here.
We're still here. Sometimes you have to like unplug, reassess things, and then come back kicking ass.
Exactly.
And that was Sound Guy Ryan quote. So Sound Guy Ryan 2022.
You're welcome.
Yeah, he's making shirts, patent pending.
Yes.
Yeah. But hey, I gave up drinking for a month and a half, and it was.
Did you do that?
I did. This is like
congrats.
This is like alcohol beverage number 4 for me since picking up the bottle again.
Fell off the wagon.
No. We are not like. If you need help, there are so many support lines out there, so please utilize those. But no, I just did it for like. I want to
shits and giggles.
I don't think ever since I was like, I hate to say this, like 16, I probably didn't drink once a week at least. So I did it.
Cool.
It was cool. Lost a bunch of weight.
Sick.
And then I gained some weight back, and
here we are.
Good stuff. I can run fast. That's
so
cool.
Fast.
I do CrossFit, but whatever. So yeah, Erica, where are we today?
We're at Twisted Fate.
We are. I'm very excited about this one because 114 it's Danvers, right? This is Danvers, yeah.
This is Danvers.
Underutilized area for breweries, and especially because there's our sponsor, Beer and Wine Hobby, like right down the road.
Yeah.
Very convenient spot for a brewery to open.
That's for sure.
And yeah, so congratulations. At this present moment, how many weeks have you been open?
So we've been open about 9 or 10 weeks
9 or 10
at this
weeks.
point.
Yeah, I figured I'd ask you like a newborn question, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you know, when people are like, oh, 36 weeks, you're like, oh, shit, I have to do math. Yeah.
We opened April 14th.
April 14th.
Yep.
Yeah.
After week 6, I kind of stopped
Yeah, I stopped
counting.
Yeah, and was that, I'm guessing April 14th was the target date that you guys had, right? Like,
Our second target
oh,
date.
really? That's
Only
not
a
too bad.
second.
That's not too bad.
too bad.
And only a couple week difference, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the original date?
March 24th. Yeah.
March 24th?
Yep.
When we started this process, I thought we would open before the end of the year. It did not happen like that. It took us a long time to get our building permit.
Shocker.
And equipment.
And our equipment.
Yeah, supply chain issues.
Yeah. At the time, they said, 4 to 6 weeks. It took 6 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that didn't really matter because it did take us so long to get our building permit.
Yeah.
But our build out was really small. So once we got that, it was, it was pretty quick.
Yeah. Before we get in the meat and potatoes of everything, I want you to introduce yourselves in
Sure.
your roles at the brewery.
Okay, I am Kim McNamara. I am a co-owner. I am Dave's sister. So I've known Dave for 44 years. And this is Dave.
Mm-hmm. I'm Dave Pinette. I am a owner and head brewer at Twisted Fate.
Excellent. So, obviously, we know how you guys met. So we don't have to.
You don't have to do that story.
Get into that. Unless you have like some crazy story that was like, we met at 14. Parents didn't know. No.
No surprises.
No parent trap stuff. This is this
And we're so boring.
Interview over. I'm out.
Was beer a part of your life, like growing up?
No.
No, I would say no.
Yeah.
I think we had the typical dad drinking Bud Light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No craft,
Yeah.
nothing.
No.
Nothing.
Yeah. What was a moment that you kind of fell in love with craft beer?
So my wife now, when we first started dating, for the first birthday, she brought me to Hopsters to make beer, and that was awesome.
Is that in Cambridge?
It was in Natick.
Natick.
No, I'm sorry.
Newton?
Newton.
Yeah, sorry.
Close enough. Yeah. And they had just gotten their liquor license that day, and they had a bunch of craft beer on, and they actually had night shift. This is about 9 years ago, and they had a Viva Habanero.
Yep.
And I was like, whoa. I was like, what is this?
Now they sell it in a can too.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
So that kind of opened my eyes to like, whoa, they're like doing different things than, like Sam Adams, was a craft brewery, but it was just something different. So that kind of opened my eyes as far as, I immediately went to their brewery to check them out, and, that kind of got the fever going, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting to think of like Night Shift. They started pretty small, right?
Oh,
They were
did,
my
yeah.
first experience with craft. It was
Really?
actually a surprise birthday party for
Yeah.
Dave for his 40th. And I don't think I had ever had an IPA or any kind of craft beer at that point. And it wasn't my jam that night. It is now,
Yeah.
but not that night it wasn't. You know, I think everyone's looking for the Bud Light.
The night
Not
light.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, obviously getting into craft beer a little bit later in life, what was life before opening a brewery?
So I went to college for financing. So I was an accountant my first 11 years out of college.
You didn't do the math on opening a brewery and all that stuff. You're like, man,
Oh.
we don't really make that much money.
many times.
Yeah.
And then I also am a high school coach, and working in the business world doesn't really work like
Yeah.
that. It's very hard. So I made a transition to education. So leading up to this, I was an educator for 10 years.
Oh,
Awesome.
I was and still am a stay-at-home mom for 10 and a half years. So,
very difficult job.
Kudos to you.
yeah. Yeah.
so my kids, you know, they're both in school full time this year for the first time. And I was kind of like, all right, you know, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
You know, before that I was admin at an accounting firm in Boston. There's no way I would want to drive into Boston for any job at this point.
Yeah.
And then Dave wanted to open a brewery. So here I
Okay.
am 10 and a half years later, a brewery owner working, and I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, what better job to go to after taking that, you know, hiatus? And yeah,
It's very cool.
it's been great. Yeah, I love it.
So what sparked opening a brewery?
So literally leaving Hopsters, I probably looked at my now wife and said, we're opening a brewery.
Dave is very enthusiastic.
yeah, apparently. Jeez.
Very, very enthusiastic.
I'm not really joking. So she said, that's great, but you're going to have to learn to make beer first.
Yeah.
So it took about 2 years from that moment, from like researching. I looked at everything as much as I could at that time. And, you know, I built up to finally making my first batch. And then that was about 6.5, 7 years ago. And since that moment, I immediately went to my sister and her husband. I was like, we're going to open a brewery together. And they said, sure.
And we're like, yep, that's Dave being excited about something.
But I literally, every single day, did work on this. I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't have a name to start. I didn't have, you know, what I was going to be making. I didn't have any of that. But I had an idea, and I just kept pushing for it.
Let's go with the name. How did you get the name?
So when I was thinking of names, it kind of went in with, you know, I think, you know, having a good logo and brand identity is really important. When I walk into a bar, I'll pretty much, you know, give anything a chance. But I always look for tap handles, and I'm like, if there's a cool tap handle, I'm like, what is that? I'm going to try that.
Who does it better than Night Shift? I mean, honestly,
They had a good logo, yeah. So I started playing around with that, and then I really kept coming back to steal from the Grateful Dead. Like, it's been a long, strange trip. How, you know, I was a finance guy, and then I was an educator, coach, and now I'm going to be a brewer. But I didn't want to steal that from them, so I started thinking about Fate, and somehow I just came upon Twisted Fate and Twister logo, and I drew some versions of it that are much different than what we have right now.
So it wasn't the first name.
It was actually the
Yeah,
first.
it was.
The
Yeah.
first
That's like
name.
a first.
Doesn't happen
Yeah.
often.
Does not happen often, no.
Well,
Yeah.
I think there was a bit debate: twist of fate
Yeah.
or twisted fate.
Oh, Twist of Fate, 100%, because it sounds like a wrestling move or something.
It goes with the Cocoa Beware
Yeah.
Yeah.
stout.
So I was a wrestling coach. So that's something.
Amazing. See?
It all makes sense.
Rebrand.
2 months in, changing our name.
We're done.
We are not
Twisted Fate just doesn't make sense anymore.
So what we found is the second hardest thing of naming a brewery, probably the first hardest thing, is finding a location. Talk about why you chose Danvers and specifically this location.
So it was about a year in the making. So I was an educator. I lost my job to COVID in June of 2020. And up to that point, every year as the school year ended, I kept saying to my wife, is this the year? Is this my last year? And she'd be like, one more year and we'll keep working on it. And then I got laid off and we're like,
Well,
this
here
is
we go.
it. Let's
Now or
do
never.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's open a brewery in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
Why
You
not?
guys had been searching
A little bit,
quite
yeah.
some time before
Yeah.
that, but mostly South Shore, Southie,
Yep.
the
So-
Cape even.
Yeah, we live in Southie. So originally we wanted to open Southie. There were no breweries at the time.
Yep.
Now Castle Island's there.
Yep.
So we started searching, really searching in June of 2020. And then we searched from southern New Hampshire all the way down to the Cape. And the commercial real estate business is crazy. It's
Yeah.
like if you want to go buy a house, you go buy a house. Like put an offer in and then that's it. Like commercial, it's just been like, it's been so difficult, like we almost gave up. And we actually found a spot in Middleton up the street after looking for about 9 months. And it kind of fell through at the very end. And we were frustrated. We're like, what's going on here? My sister and her husband live in North Andover, so we kind of started gravitating north a little bit to try to be closer to them.
Yeah.
And
Again, that's an area that's untapped either.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, really. Yeah.
it was right off of 114 as well.
Yeah. Also for my husband and I, if this had opened in, say, Southie or South Shore, we probably wouldn't be as involved as we are. We have 2 little kids and just
Yeah, the travel. Yeah, I get
like
it.
I already said, I don't want to go to Boston for any job, but it would have been different
Yeah.
had this been any,
So we were pretty frustrated, and we're like, well, what's next door? Let's look at Danvers, and we hadn't looked. One of the teachers I worked with in my last job was from Danvers, and she's like, you should look at Danvers, because I was telling everyone there. I'm like, I'm opening a brewery.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, don't do Danvers. They'll never allow it. So that was always in the back of my head, like, oh, maybe we don't want to look there.
Yeah.
But we actually, the funny thing is we actually found 2 spots that we really liked.
Wow.
And they were probably the most welcoming of any place that you had looked at previous,
definitely.
right? A lot of people places didn't want a brewery there.
Yeah.
If
They
you're
don't get
selling
it.
alcohol.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're not a club, we're not a bar, we're not rowdy,
Yeah.
Right,
whatever.
right.
So that was an impression I think a lot of people had.
It's convincing that local government that it's not a strip
Correct.
club.
Yeah.
Like for lack of a better term, it's like
Yeah. We haven't had the cops called on
Yeah,
us
yeah.
yet. And, we hope
knock on wood. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't see why they will be, but
Yeah. So we had 2 spots. We saw the other spot first. I wasn't even going to come here. I was like, this is the spot.
found it.
Yeah.
again, very enthusiastic.
Yeah. It was right downtown. It had
Time
like
to check that day.
It had like
Yeah.
old town charm. It was like you could walk right up. It had really nice curb appeal to it.
It did. It was the perfect little spot
Yeah.
walking downtown. The charm was spot on. It was so
Yeah.
cute. Way smaller
Yeah.
than here.
But my wife was like, no, we're going. You made the appointment. We're going to go see it. I walked in. I'm like, oh, this is the spot.
So, knowing the downtown Danvers area, there's not much foot traffic, right? This is on a major road that leads
Yeah.
to 2 malls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
this was the right decision.
Yeah,
just
100%.
from that standpoint. I think some people have even commented like the parking down there would have
Where
been
are you going to park on the street?
right.
Yeah, they're not going to let you
Right.
park in Brothers Lot.
Right, right, yeah. So without a doubt, this kind of made the most sense.
Yeah. And we love the building. It actually, so the build out itself was just the partition wall and the bar.
Yeah.
This basically was just an open space. So
Oh, perfect.
yeah, it was
Walls,
great.
red carpet,
Yeah.
beautiful.
We saved
Why
a
is
little.
it not here anymore?
Oh,
Well,
it's
we
right
saved
there,
a little bit
Oh,
back. so
there
it's-
it is.
Oh, I love it.
We're afraid to rip it up. We don't know what's under there.
We're just going to keep it there.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah.
So that's how we ended up here.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that moment when you kind of realize that this is past the point of no return. But we got to keep the lights on the Brewers podcast. So, Ryan, cue up the sponsor machine.
Did you know that your favorite Massachusetts breweries use hops from a local family-owned hop farm right here in Massachusetts?
Our friends over at 4-Star Farms are there for you whether you're a commercial brewery or a small batch home brewer.
Make sure to head over to their website today and get your hands on some of the best and freshest hops available locally. Cheers.
At our local homebrew shop, Beer and Wine Hobby, you can get everything you need to make beer, wine, cider, cheese, and more. Not sure where to start? They have knowledgeable staff there to help. Beer and Wine Hobby is family-owned and located in Danvers, Massachusetts. Visit their website, beer-wine.com, and use our promo code BREWROOTS for 10% off your online order today.
Shirts on Tap is the box subscription service for craft beer lovers. Each month, Shirts on Tap partners up with 7 different breweries from across the country and collaborates on a sweet custom shirt design. We've been teamed up with Shirts on Tap since the inception of the podcast and are proud to announce a new promo code for all of our listeners. To get your first shirt for $5 off, go to the link in our description below and use the promo code. And remember, drink better beer, wear better shirts. I want to talk about the moment that you realize, like, there's no turning back. Like, is that a scary moment, signing your name to the lease? And
Yes.
yeah,
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, from that standpoint, for sure. Because I think this guy's vision was all up in here, right?
And then
up
it was
in
like,
his head.
oh, I bought the place.
Like
and then we're like, shoot,
you can swear.
okay, shit, we're part of this now. It's like, so it's in his hands as far as, we can paint the walls and the floors and whatever, but this guy has to produce.
Yeah.
And he has.
Yeah.
Yay.
I would say I wasn't scared then. I was just relieved that it actually had happened.
Yeah.
Kind of, surprised it happened, even though I thought it was going to happen. If anyone asked me, I told them 100% we're opening a brewery. Like, completely believed it. But it was like,
You manifested it.
finally someone gave us the keys to do this. I think my concern was once, like, we're still trying to open, during COVID and the shipping delays, and it was really hard to find people to come do work.
Yeah.
Stop it.
And you're paying for a space and not
Yes.
getting any revenue.
Correct. And, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
So it just keeps adding up. And there were many delays on town level. That's kind of when I started to stress, like, are we going to run out of money?
Yeah.
But, signing the lease, it was more, we have pictures, it was like smile ear to ear. Like,
Yeah, it was definitely exciting.
Yay.
deer in the headlight, like, whoa.
I liken it to
It's
like
happening.
I just got keys to a building.
Yeah.
I liken it to going to college. It's like, I'm away from my parents and I can get all fucked up, and then you're like 5 years later, like, shit, I have $70,000 in the
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think for me, like, the scariest part was right before we opened. We had this date. We knew we were open. We're telling people we're open. And to be honest with you guys, we hadn't tasted any of the beer that we were going to be selling. So I think it was the night before, and we were having a soft opening or something. And the 4 of us, our spouses, and the 2 of us sat down, and we did a flight, and there were 5. And finally, I know I was kind of like, okay, we can open tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because he produced the beer, but I think that was like the scariest, like, just not knowing what was coming out of those fermenters.
Yeah.
It was stressful because we had a soft opening on April 9th. As of April 7th, I didn't have one beer in the keg.
Yeah.
So I was like, we might have to cancel. I have no idea.
Were all those your first beers you ever brewed on that system as well?
Yep.
Yeah, see, that's really scary too.
Yeah.
You're like, I hope I did this right.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know. It's a new system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a brewer, you realize, like, it's all about the procedure and your system. Know your system. So
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know how any of this is going to be.
Yeah.
I think that week too, like, my sister-in-law Erica, I kept saying, like, I'm the only one that doesn't feel great. Like, got, butterflies every
Yeah.
day. I feel nauseous every day. She's like, no, we all I'm
feel that.
right there with you.
Talk about the system you're brewing on. And rumor has it you're brewing on the same system as one of our previous guests.
Yep. So I have a 3.5 barrel system from Blickman Engineering. Lopes, or as I just found out is Lops Brewing, actually has the same system, who's been very helpful. I went down and did a brew day with them. Small world, I ended up being in a fantasy league with them 20 years ago. I didn't even know.
That's hilarious.
So we have the same system. It's more like a 3-barrel system, to be honest.
Yeah.
Especially with the hoppier beers. So I get about 3 barrels a batch.
Yep. And so are you doing double batches because you have this?
Well, that was the plan.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened
Okay.
yet.
Yeah. It's a lot of brewing.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
So at home, it was taking me. I had a. So at first, when I started brewing, I had. I got some kettles and stuff like that, and we lived in a 450 square foot apartment in Boston.
Plenty of room.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, this just isn't working with all the stuff. So I went to a grandfather, which was great. So I switched over to that. It used to take me about 4.5, 5 hours on that. It's only taking me about 5 hours on this.
That's actually not too bad.
No, it's not terrible.
Yeah.
The
But a
cleanup-
10-hour brew day sucks. Yeah.
The cleanup is, 10, 12 hours on this system,
Yep.
where at home it was like an hour.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It goes right in the sink.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah.
And it's just you, right?
It's just me.
Just you. Holy
Yep.
shit.
Yep. Correct.
So how many hours you putting in a week?
Too many.
Yes.
A lot.
So I'm doing tap room as well. So I'm working about 80-ish hours.
Sleeping?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit. But
We're getting there. We're
getting there.
finding the groove.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
even the
it's-
system. So now I'm like on our flagship, which is My Promises of Lies. I have the 3rd batch in the fermenter, so I'm starting to get into
Yay.
some repeat performances.
Nice.
Dialing in some numbers.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Taking
Feeling,
lots of notes. Yeah.
Yeah, so tweaking it a little bit, and it gets easier, especially the cleanup.
Yeah, feeling more comfortable with your system.
Yeah, I joke with people and say I'm basically a glorified home brewer because it's just kettles. There's no automation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
At
yeah.
all. So it's like me moving hoses around and pumps around, and
Yep.
so it's just learning how to do that efficiently.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what are your hours of operation during the week?
So we're open Thursday through Sunday. Thursday and Friday we're open 2 to 9. Saturday 11 to 9, and Sunday 12 to 6.
And do you dictate those hours, or is that the town that's dictating those hours?
We do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Because I know like some places like you can't be open past such and such time. Or,
Yeah, we haven't been
The
told
only-
there were any.
Yeah.
Good.
The only thing we can't do is open before 12 on Sunday.
Yeah.
But with our license with the town, we can actually stay open till 1 if we wanted to.
Oh wow, that's really late.
yeah.
Or early.
It's pretty early.
Pretty early. Cool.
So let's talk about some of the beers. You mentioned your flagship, but Ryan's drinking what do you?
Well, I had the flagship. I then had the pills, very good. Had the wheat beer, the fruit of my lady.
Yeah. I also see a Belgian triple, which
Yep.
you don't see too often at breweries.
I tell people that's the best beer I make.
Really?
Oh,
Yep.
all right.
Yep. It's very good. The problem is you can't drink 9% beers all day.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Some people try.
Yeah, right. I'll try.
Let's rephrase it. 9% beers that drink like 4.5. Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's a little too smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So My Promises of Lies is our flagship. It's mostly Sabro
Cool.
with a little cashmere and a little mosaic.
Yeah. Do you like brewing with Sabro?
I love it.
Really?
I mean,
I hear so many brewers like
It's
hate
very hit or
Sabro.
miss.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
my wife loved it.
Yeah.
So I kind of made a beer for her, and that just happened to be the one that I kind of honed in. So I at home brewed it about 30 times.
Oh,
And
geez.
it was consistent.
Yeah, so small tweaks.
Yeah.
So it breaks my heart a little bit. Our most popular is World of Dreams. I had never brewed that before.
Of
And
course.
everyone
Of
loves
course.
that. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It might be my favorite.
it's like I brewed this one 30 times. And
Yeah.
it's fun.
Oh well.
Are you drinking IPAs at home, double IPAs, or were you drinking New England style IPAs before you opened a brewery?
I mean, so I got into home brewing to
Yeah.
brew New England IPAs. My opinion is I think everything is moving back towards more lagers. IPAs aren't going anywhere.
No.
Definitely not. Yeah.
You know, and I love good IPAs. I actually, at home, if I had a choice, I would drink Main Lunch, which is West Coast style.
Yeah.
But I tend to, if I go to a brewery, the first thing I look for now is if they have a Pils.
Yeah.
That's just my taste right now. You know, tastes change, you know,
It's our
every
taste,
7
too.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do, if I don't drink the Pils, I'm drinking, you know, the New England IPA, My Promises Are Lies.
Yeah.
I mean, I still love going to I went to Treehouse 2 weeks ago, drank
Yeah.
all their IPAs.
Well, it's called market research, right?
Yeah. Part of my sensory.
Yeah, sensory
Yes.
board. Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of that, as a home brewer, I mean, we all home brew. You're a professional brewer now, but
Ooh.
it's really hard getting feedback, right? Because everyone wants to tell
Honest
honest feedback. Because
Yeah.
everyone just
Yes.
is like, "This is the best beer I've ever had," right? Like, how many times did you hear that as a home brewer?
Thankfully, my brother-in-law is very direct. Okay.
He would love to be here for this story.
Yeah, call him up. Call him up.
We should. He, you know, he's like, Dave, I'm gonna tell you flat out, if this, you know,
If this sucks.
if we're
Yeah.
gonna invest in this, like, you got to make the best beer.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Dave comes over. We had a family party or something once, and Dave comes over with one of his first. I don't know what it was.
Probably my 4th or 5th batch.
Yeah.
He comes over. He's like, oh, it tastes so
What type
good.
of beer was it? What style?
It was an IPA.
It was an IPA.
Okay.
Okay.
And so Bill, my husband, tasted and it's like, And Dave's like, what do you think? He's like, well, if you were going for the dirty ashtray taste, you nailed it.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
But Dave thought it was great.
This was the first brew that I felt like I could share.
Right.
You were
right.
like, actually, I made a roast beer, you asshole.
And to be honest, that's never happened again.
See, there you go.
Yeah. So did you do any like competitions or anything, or just?
So last year I did the Homebrewers Association competition.
Nice.
Oh,
So
awesome.
I entered 4 beers, I think.
Very cool.
Yep.
Cool. Good for you.
How did that go?
It went good. It was good to get feedback for the
Yeah,
first time.
definitely.
It was I had never done anything like that.
Yeah.
So actually,
Did they do the GABF scale, or do you know how they rate it on?
I don't.
It doesn't
actually.
matter. Yeah.
I was like hit and refresh every day.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I
right.
I want to see the feedback.
Yeah.
So it was good to see that. So I think actually at the time, by the time I got the feedback, we had actually signed the lease here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, well, it don't matter anyway.
Right.
We're in.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
How's the reception been? Have you gotten a lot of people who just kind of drive by and they're like, brewery, or like, how are you getting people in?
It's a good question.
There's a lot of that for sure. Social media
Yeah.
has obviously been probably our biggest
Yep.
promoter.
Yeah.
We've done some mailings. We just did a local little newspaper spread. So we've had some couples, actually younger couples, come in and just say, you know, I think someone the other day said, like, you know, an old lady looking at the newspaper, but she saw it and then she came in.
We were teasing around
so-
doing like a mailing, like a newsletter for emails, and I was like, nobody's going to want to do this. And we got people who were like, yeah, we still get information that way.
Yeah. So our sign out here too. When did you put that up? October, November.
Yeah, it was probably November.
So a lot of people had seen the
Yeah.
sign out front. So they've kind of followed along and have been waiting.
I feel like
Yeah.
you're going to have during the holidays a lot of people dropped off here while
I think
people
so.
go and shop.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. All the
Car
dads.
shopping.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
woman came in one day and was like, I just had the worst experience at one of these car places. I need a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
my
I called
God.
my husband.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, her husband wasn't here. She's like, I'm sorry, I got to go have a drink and like cool off.
Yeah.
So we got
Well,
that.
I'm glad you're here for that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. We're here for
Cheaper
the
than
people.
therapy.
Right.
Maybe not as effective, but cheaper.
Works temporarily.
Yes.
We're doing beer festivals too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw you guys.
Awesome.
We're going to do the Danvers concert series.
Yep.
Cool.
The summer concert series. Yeah, so there's 4 series
Yep.
starting in July. So we're really trying to do whatever we can, you know, and get our name out there as much. We're doing private parties,
Yep.
Yeah.
which has been really
Pretty-
good.
yeah, pretty good.
We've got quite a few on the calendar for
That's
over the
awesome.
next few months.
Nice.
So,
What's the weirdest request for a party?
wedding rehearsal without seeing the space.
That's pretty weird.
Huh.
We've heard
Okay.
like 1-year-old birthday parties. We're like, really? What a birthday?
It's about the parents at that point.
I know, it's about the parents.
It's not about the children.
I'll admit, my daughter's first birthday was at like a bar that we go to.
I love it. I love it.
No.
Kid friendly.
Yeah,
We're
kid
very
friendly.
kid friendly. Have your kid's first birthday.
Absolutely.
Totally cool with us. They cannot
That's awesome.
drink,
Yeah.
but
So, social media has been a big impact.
Yes.
Who does the social media?
So to start, it was me.
Yeah.
As I was building this up, but now it's my sister and
Yeah.
my wife handle all the social media.
yeah.
It's hard.
Awesome.
It's
very
really hard.
Yeah.
Actually, Erica does the
It's a full-time
Instagram.
job.
Yeah, it is.
And she's been doing like, I think some serious research
Oh,
and
yeah.
like what to do and
Yeah.
stuff. So she's doing a really good job.
The
I
wor-
do the Facebook and kind of just post, we're open. It's
Yeah.
hot out. Come get a cold beer.
Yeah.
You know, we'll do parties, you know, so.
Sometimes it's just like throwing a dart and hoping it hits.
Yeah. Yeah. You just got to keep posting
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
constantly.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Talk about Untapped. I know your boards are sponsored by Untapped, so we won't be too hard on them. But what's the deal with Untapped for you guys? Have you guys gotten feedback that's actually worthwhile for you, or has it just been kind of like something to consider?
It's always nice to see when somebody really likes your product.
What about when they
right?
hate it?
We laugh.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's
Yes.
really what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Good.
He can laugh now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was laughing at like, week 1 or 2.
It's we have Untapped.
Yep.
And we pay for the service.
Yep.
My problem with Untapped is it's all in the eye of the beholder as
Yeah.
far as styles. And there's no really rhyme or reason to anyone judging
There's nothing.
anything.
Yeah.
I know.
There's no repercussions on anyone just going on and blasting someone for their beer.
Right.
So if you became the CEO for a day, what would you change about Untapped?
It's tough because it's social media.
Yeah.
So in someone's eyes, the best beer they ever had could be a 3.
Yeah.
In someone else's eye, that beer could be a 5.
Yeah.
So it's hard to kind of rein that in. I'm not sure what the answer is.
5 is a perfect score. It's hard to be perfect on anything, right? I mean, in my eyes, right, a 5 that was how I would look at it, right?
For me, it should just be like, did I like this beer? Thumbs up.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then
Maybe
like
that's
that's
what it should
it.
be,
Like that's
up
the
or
only
down.
option.
Yeah. Up, down, or
Yeah,
Yeah,
but the
right.
thing is like a thumbs down. It's just like, hey, what if you didn't really like it? So it was like,
I just feel like not rate it. You
Yeah,
can either
yeah.
not
Like
rate
a
it or give them
medium.
a thumbs up. That's all you got.
So I would say they should go 1 to 10.
Yeah, I
A
agree,
lot of people have
100%,
mentioned that. Yeah.
But I agree. So here's the thing: if I go to a brewery, I joke. I've been to breweries that I haven't liked one beer, but I'll go back and try it again. That's a great thing
Yeah.
about breweries.
Right.
If I have something I don't like, I'm not going to go on there and blast it and give
Right.
it 1.
Yeah.
When some people come here and they have our IPA and then they give us a 1.5 and say it was just too IPA for me.
Or I don't like IPAs. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I nailed it.
Yeah.
I got
Right.
it.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's actually a compliment.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Thank you.
Your IPA tastes like
you.
an IPA.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I did something right. I need a raise.
Yep.
Going back in time, what's something you wish you did a little bit different when opening the brewery?
Another drain in the brewery area. Their big concern was that we had to have about 85 sinks. So if you go
That's
good.
hilarious.
We gotta make sure we can
And we
wash our
do.
hands
and they
everywhere.
wanted more.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to have a sink next to every prep area, technically, right? And I guess the brewery would be something similar, like a hand washing
Building
sink,
Inspector
right?
Ryan. Jeez, how do you know all this
Yeah.
shit?
Because it's my job.
He just knows things.
So the problem came down to being that there are no bars in Danvers, so we're treated as a restaurant.
Yeah.
So even though we have no food prep, we need
Yep.
all of the
Interesting.
sinks that a restaurant would need.
Yeah.
So you can see after. I mean, it's pretty. We have a sink we've never used.
Oh, we could use it today.
It's like you could probably like
we can
touch
just
them.
break it in.
It's for hand washing only, probably.
It is for hand washing.
Yes.
Well, there are 2 there for hand
Yeah,
wash.
correct.
Yeah. One for the right hand, one for the left hand.
Yes. Yes.
Right, both at the same time. It's that close.
But having another drain in the back, that would probably be my number one thing.
Yeah. So we're about 3 months into this. It's hard to look into the future and say, what does 5 years look like? But I'm curious. What does 5 years look like for you? But we have to wash our hands in both the sinks. So we're going to go do that. And you're going to hear from our sponsors, and we're going to have clean hands. Cheers.
Are you a solo artist, band, podcaster, or anyone else who needs recording services?
Well, we got a place for you where your vision can become a reality.
Welcome to Small Pond Studios, built by hand with heart and sweat equity by musicians for musicians.
Go to smallpondstudios.io to reach out to get more information. And make sure you let them know that Brute sent you. Hey, Sound Guy Ryan here. Didn't know if you heard, but we're a part of the Hopped Up Network. There you'll find other informative podcasts about beer. So go ahead, follow them on social media, and visit them on their website, hoppedupnetwork.com, to learn more about the people, beer, and breweries from around the country. And until next time, thanks for listening. Cheers.
Alrighty then.
How clean are your hands?
Oh my God, they're so clean.
One thing I have found through COVID, and we're not going to talk about COVID because Ryan's like, no more COVID.
No more COVID.
I'm done.
Is I found the benefit of moisturizer. Like I never used to moisturize before COVID.
And now
I have perfect cuticles because
Did you not wash your hands?
I would wash my hands, but they would never get like super dry. Maybe that's what
Because
happened.
you didn't wash your hands enough.
Okay. So what I'm going to do in the future is wash my hands more.
and then moisturize more.
But what I'm really curious about is what's the future for, I know we're in 3 months in, but what's the future for Twisted Fate?
So it's continuing to build this location up. And the hope is that enough people like the beer and the environment, the atmosphere, that we open a destination type production facility in the Northeast somewhere.
Cool.
With a lawn.
With a lawn, we
Yes.
want concerts, we want like
Yeah.
smokers, we want food trucks, we want like,
Big plans. We got big dreams.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
I love that. That's the dream, I feel like. Just like a destination where you just have everything.
The Topsfield's Fair.
Yeah.
There should be a brewery there.
Do they serve beer there?
I don't know.
Because I thought about reaching out to them, to be honest.
But
You
like-
should just reach out to them.
But like
Yeah.
the Topsfield's Fair ground,
Yeah.
like there's just so much space, and I know that's owned by the town. And
Yeah, but
might be-
Topsfield
yeah.
would be a really good
Yeah.
spot. There's no breweries
There's
there
no
either.
breweries.
Yeah, I think there's a reason though that there's no breweries there, because the wintertime, I just don't see the foot traffic going in there. I mean, even in the summertime, really the foot traffic you're going to get is people going on and off the highway
Well,
when they're
you
out
just
and
need some
about.
kind of pop-up brewery for the fair.
Yeah.
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 You need something to
But-
pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Listen, I don't give many free ideas, so
Take it and run with it.
We'll credit you if
Yeah.
we end up
Yes.
in Topsfield, specifically in the
Yeah.
Topsfield Fair lot.
yeah, specifically, yeah. Lot C. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
yeah, Lot
Let's see. We got our eye on it.
Yeah. I don't even know if that's a lot.
I don't either.
So we were talking off air about different styles. I'm drinking the triple. You're right. This is very good. Actually,
Thank you.
Congratulations. I'm screwed after not drinking for a while. That's 9.5%. It drinks.
See ya.
Yes. Ryan, you're going to drive for dinner tonight, right?
Ryan's going to have a triple
Yeah.
after this.
Yes.
Just so I don't have
We'll be
to.
calling.
Exactly.
We'll be calling an Uber. Yeah.
Uber.
So I don't see like sours,
Yep.
and a ton of breweries open up, and they're like guava passion kettle sour,
Yep.
grape smoothie, acai sour,
Yep.
kettle sour. No kettle sour.
No kettle.
Probably not.
Cool. I'm totally on board with that. That's awesome.
For the first 2 months, everyone who came in asked about a sour.
Of course.
I started looking it up, and my initial resistance is contamination with the other
Definitely.
equipment, and I almost broke down and maybe made one, but I'm like, I'm not going to risk it. I've read some horror stories. Russian River had to like replace all their equipment because the bacteria got into all their equipment, and
Ruin Pliny the Elder.
yeah. So that is probably the only thing I would say I will never make is a sour.
Okay.
But he also said we would never do growlers.
Correct.
And we're
now
doing
we have
growlers.
growlers.
See, like,
Why?
I really
Could I
love
ask
growlers,
why?
but like, I can understand. I don't know. So
Well, you don't do canning, right? You don't have any
Not
to
yet.
go.
Not yet.
Yeah.
The concern is that you have to teach the customer that when you open it, you have to drink it.
Yes.
You cannot hold on to this for 2 weeks and
Yeah.
have it at your party and then save it for another week. And no. You got to drink it. And
Like
Also,
wine. When
you-
you open it, drink it.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Commit.
And so a lot of
Commit.
places just stopped doing that because they're sick of getting people complaining about.
The
Then they'll go
education.
on tap.
But
and
I
blast it.
absolutely love a growler. Like
Really?
like a small, like not like necessarily a 64 ounce, but a good
Yeah.
like 32 ounce. Like I bring it home. That's a good solid 2 or 3 beers. Or my boyfriend and I.
Yep. So that's actually what
Perfect.
we're doing.
Yep.
So after fighting it, because our production size it puts us in a weird spot as far as we looked at outside companies coming in to can for us or buying a canner, and we're just not there
The
yet.
yield's not there yet.
Yeah. And to like do something like Stay 64.
That was what I was going to mention. Yeah.
It would take a whole week of production off the floor. And
Right.
I'm just not sure we can do that at this time. But almost every person that walked in was asking us for it to go.
To go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I broke down, I bought a counterflow pressure bottle filler for the
Okay.
growlers. So we do 32 ounce Kolsch style flip top growlers. But we have people who say, well, if I open this today, can I finish it tomorrow? It's like, no.
No.
Right.
That's
No.
You got to
So
commit,
I make
man.
sure
it's a
to
one
like
sitting type of beer.
I make sure to specifically tell
Yeah.
them like once
I
you
feel
open
like
this,
that's the part. Like your staff needs to be knowledgeable about
Yep.
Yep.
how you serve and drink growlers.
Yes.
You need to teach your customers.
Well, yeah.
No, you open this and drink it.
and how to wash them. When you
Yes,
wanna bring
and
them
don't
back.
complain to
So-
me if you drink it 2 separate
weeks,
days.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've been doing really well with
Yeah.
the growlers. Actually,
That's
it was a
awesome.
really good
A
idea.
crazy amount of growlers.
Yeah.
That's actually really exciting though.
Yeah.
Like that's going well. And
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
We knew we needed like a to-go option. I mean,
Yeah.
sours and growlers were
Yep.
the biggest, questions we
or
got
something,
when
yeah.
we first opened.
If you ever do make a sour, you should just call it sours and growlers.
Sours and growlers.
I might steal that.
I said it
That's what we're here
first.
for.
Maybe he'll finally let me name a beer. No,
And this wants 1.5% of that.
Yeah. So
The third most requested thing is cask beer, which is
really,
interesting.
That's
to me.
crazy.
Yeah.
So that is so crazy.
is that something you've even like dabbled in, or?
I wouldn't even know where to begin, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just something I've never dealt with.
I wonder if that's just because of the area, because there are like quite a few other breweries around. here
Backbeat
that
does
do
it.
Yeah.
Gen
Yeah,
Tech
we have a
does
guy.
it.
We have a guy.
We know.
Yeah.
No, and I wonder if like Near X North, like all of those people who are.
I guess
Yeah.
that's just really funny though that you guys have that request. I just never thought that would be something that would be requested from a brewery.
Someone came
so-
in to try and sell
Interesting.
us a cask system,
Oh my god!
which is interesting.
That is
I don't even
interesting.
know what you're talking.
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't even know there were salesmen, salespeople, casks.
I can now tell you there are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
Already.
Damn. Maybe
Okay.
a career change. No, I'm
Right? I know.
into the
Seems lucrative.
yeah.
He sells one a month. No, I'm just kidding.
That's all it takes.
If you're listening, cask person,
Find us.
we respect you. Seltzers. What? No, actually, I'm going to ask this in a better way.
Yeah, better than seltzers.
No, it's for people who don't drink IPAs, which IPAs are kind of like the gateway beer, I guess, in sours at this point. Someone comes in, they are looking for a seltzer or a Bud Light. What do you have to offer them?
Pilsner.
Feels
Exactly.
Before the Pilsner.
as it should be. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Before
Darn
the
it.
Pilsner, it was the Fruits of My Labor,
Yep.
the wheat beer.
Yep.
And we actually offer non-alcoholic seltzer.
There you go.
Black cherry.
Same thing.
Cranberry
Yes.
lime.
Great
Nice.
options.
Yeah.
Yes.
Toasted coconut's my favorite, but
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure we would do a hard seltzer.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say never to that. We'll see.
We'll see.
I
Stay
do
tuned.
love a hard seltzer.
I think it's
In
kind
the
of a
summer.
fad a little bit, but
I know it's a fad, but then you do get those people that come in and they like literally refuse to drink beer.
Yeah.
Like, please
Well,
just
it's
try this, please
gluten-free
try
as
this.
well,
Right. It's
right?
gluten free. Right. So you are hitting like
That
a market
yeah.
there. I mean, I know I hate being like, you got to make a hard seltzer, but I don't know.
It also feels like it's like a summer thing, right? So
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
In the winter, I don't know if they sell.
Yeah,
Oh, you
I
mean
would.
you don't-
I would
you
agree.
need this to like warm you up,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
like a seltzer. Cool you down.
When I was on vacation in South Carolina, every brewery had a seltzer and a cider. Now their
laws
license
must be different,
allowed
yeah.
them to have the cider, but everyone had a cider and a seltzer along with their beer.
Yeah.
So technically, I think we can make a cider. I believe that falls under our license, and seltzer definitely does.
So now, what kind of license do you have?
We have a farmer's brewer's license.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I would assume that the cider wouldn't be in that then?
I think that
Because
goes
it's-
under wine.
That's a wine.
Oh, does it?
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure it does.
Let's ask
Don't
the
quote
lawyers.
us.
Let's ask the lawyers.
Yeah.
But
I see you're part of the Mass Brewers Guild. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're selling the. Has the Mass Brewers Guild helped out at all? Or I mean, I'm not trying. This is not to like talk shit or anything.
Yeah, no, they've been great.
Yeah.
We did the Mass Brewers Guild Power
At Cyclorama.
Fest.
Yeah, we were there. Yeah.
Beer Festival. Katie's been awesome.
Katie's
from-
the
Katie's the
yeah,
best.
she's
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah, we love
Anything we need, she always offers help.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, no, they've been great. We actually got the glasses. We weren't technically open yet, so
Yep.
they still let us buy them.
Cool.
So yeah, no, it's been great being a part of them.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like them, or just in general, just have them do or whatever? Like, is there anything that more they could help you guys with? Just for curiosity's sake, I always wonder like how the laws and things like what.
Yeah, I don't ever
guilds
know if
could
they get
do.
those feedback either. You know,
Right.
Like
Yeah.
saying like, I
Right.
wish you could do this. You know.
Well, I think that we're like still pretty new and like we've never done this before. That like
Sure enough.
maybe as time goes,
Yeah.
we could be like, hey,
Yeah.
We'll ask
Maybe
this
they
question
could
again in a
help.
couple of years.
you know. But for now,
Yeah, no,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
Let's get into the business side of things.
Okay.
Okay, Ryan.
So, well, I should say, when you venture out into the wholesale market, how are you going to differentiate yourself from every other brewery that's on the shelf?
So we actually started to distribute a little bit. We're in Renaissance Golf Club up in Haverhill, and we are at Jimmy Culpepper's in North Andover.
Are these local places you go to?
They are.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Got it.
And we're working on trying to get into some Danvers restaurants. We're
Maggie's
very
Farm.
happy.
Getting to Maggie's Farm.
I reached out. I have not heard back.
Yeah, Maggie's is busy.
Yeah.
Around the clock.
I've reached out to a lot of the restaurants in the area. We signed a lease where we could be here for 16 years.
Oh my goodness.
So
That's
we're
awesome.
We have the option.
we have the options.
Right,
We have the
right.
options. So
It's like a professional.
we're looking like
Yeah.
me and my family are relocating. We're probably going to move to Danvers. We want to be a part of the
Makes sense.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to walk into a restaurant and see our beer there.
Yep.
And it's promotional as well. So I think I think it's the product. As far as making a good product, and people want a good product, and then I think our
handles.
tap handles are amazing.
Yeah,
So
who
I think
designed this?
so we use Knockout Design. They're in Western Mass.
Yeah.
They put them
cool.
together.
Yeah,
They're nice.
They're definitely like unique, I think, and not like in like a weird. Ooh, they're unique, but like no, they're different and they look nice.
Thank you. Yeah. So I think that's an eye catcher.
Yeah.
Being on at a bar or restaurant, whatever.
It's still important. I mean, I know a lot of people are over the can art and simplicity, but it's still important. I mean,
It is.
it's like you look at a Corvette and you look at like a Toyota Camry. You're like, which one's cooler looking? Which one's more functional? The Camry, probably.
And probably better for your budget.
Yeah.
And
But it's like,
When I go into Renaissance, there's only 4 beers on tap there, and ours is by far the smallest, but it's definitely, the sleekest.
Yeah.
With the wooden handle,
Yeah.
the metal top.
it catches people's eye.
It
Yeah.
does, yeah. And for me too, walking in and seeing it, it's like a sense of pride, right? Seeing
Oh,
your
definitely.
product in
Yeah.
this place.
Yeah.
You did this, we did
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
It's
It's kind of
really
like a musician hearing their song on the
Yeah.
radio.
right. Yeah.
Well, I like to say all of this is like a rock band.
Yeah.
It's sometimes butting heads, but you create this great product where, sometimes you have these bands and the lead singer thinks they'll be better leaving, and they're not. It never happens. It's
Yeah.
because everyone is fighting and clawing and trying to make this the best product that it can, and that's what this whole space is all of us working together and putting our hearts into it.
so, who's the lead singer though?
Probably Dave. I mean, without Dave, we don't have a brewery, right?
True.
So you're not gonna start a solo sour,
I was saying, so
sour
we're going
project.
to solo project, right?
Solo sour project.
No, he's not.
So
Sour growlers.
We're part of that 5-year
Yeah.
plan too. We're in Topsfield with this guy.
Let's see.
I want to go back to my question though, because all I heard was tap handle, right? And I'm
Ryan.
serious though. Like, how sell me your beer? Like, how are you going to walk up to someone and be like, you should have my beer? Like, what do you say to convince them that my beer or my IPA or my Pilsner is better than the other ones?
Just give him a taste.
Give them a taste. I agree.
Because there's a lot of beers out there,
Yeah.
and
There sure are.
you need to make sure that you're prepared when you go out in the wild, right, to sell this beer.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that's their job, is just to sell.
Right.
Yeah.
Your job is to make the beer.
Yep.
You might not be used to selling the beer necessarily. Like, you're on the, in the tap room, right? But
Yeah.
working in the wholesaler market, that's a whole other beast.
Oh, it's
It's a whole other beast.
a whole another beast.
You can walk up to somebody, like, hey, I don't care. See ya. I'm serious. That's
When we started this, I thought I was going to pour every single beer that was sold here and sell every single beer. Correct.
How many hours?
Correct.
He's not joking,
I'm not
guys.
joking. I'm 100%
It wasn't
serious.
a joke.
Yeah. And then I was like,
And
what?
there'd be lines out the door.
I need some
Yeah,
help.
and then I was like, wait, I don't want to pour every single beer or sell every beer.
We're glad you came to that conclusion.
Yeah. It took a while. It took some time.
Last week you came to that epiphany. No, I'm just
Yeah, right. Just last week.
A few weeks before
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You're close.
my doctor said I need. No, I'm just kidding.
My investors said I needed to.
Yes.
I feel like, we're very lucky in the Northeast. There's a lot of great breweries.
So
We're
many.
spoiled.
So
Just
many.
even just the North Shore.
We're so lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's a good thing, but in your shoes,
100%.
that's a terrible thing.
See, I disagree. I feel like someone asked me, how would you feel if a brewery opened next door? And I said, I would love it,
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
because now there's 2 breweries to go visit. When my wife and myself go to visit breweries, we do the same thing. We'll have a flight, we'll probably have a pour, and then we might go to another brewery.
Yeah, that's why Portland, Maine is so successful.
Absolutely. We go there all the time. It's a great spot. So I feel the craft beer world it's a couple of things. I think, they want to support local made beer. And for the most part, locally made on site beer is better than any of the macro brewers. And I'm not taking anything away from them. They do an amazing thing. The way that Anheuser-Busch can make Bud Light to taste like a Bud Light every single time blows my mind.
And they brew it in
Different
so many
medium.
different
Yeah.
locations.
It's
And-
amazing.
You can get it in Japan, Hawaii, and it tastes the same.
And even a smaller level, Sam Adams. I know Sam Adams gets a lot of crap, but
Honestly,
what
make
they
great
do
beer.
is amazing.
Right?
Like-
they make really good beer.
Yeah.
I think that happens anytime someone becomes big.
I was going to say, yeah.
People attack it.
Well,
Definitely.
the question I was going to ask is, do you think beer is coming to the point? I mentioned this in the episode with Old Planners.
Yep.
And I was watching a documentary on Green Day. They get a bunch of shit, right? Like they're saying, like, well, Green Day used to be cool, but now they're mainstream, so they're not cool, right?
Yeah.
Is craft beer coming that? Like, is craft beer not cool anymore?
I don't think so. I think over time it's going to eventually get bigger and bigger and bigger because the product is better than a macro brew.
Yeah.
I think too, like the audience for craft beer is growing.
Yep. Absolutely.
I know.
But that's a good and bad
We're all
thing,
at different
right?
ages too. you
Well-
have people like you, right, who are a different age range that are into craft beer for so long. We have people who are still entering it,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, we've
Constantly.
had young 20s here.
Yeah.
Right? What were you drinking in your young 20s? Not
craft beer.
Not a
Genesee.
Belgian Tripel.
Right.
But
Right.
also too, like women. So we get a lot of women who come here without a man with them, right? So,
Yeah.
and that's being a woman owner. That's like great. So I think like it could have been intimidating not too long ago to go into a brewery
It wasn't even
Just with
going
your
to a bar
girlfriends.
by yourself.
Yeah.
I remember when
Right.
I was 21, going to a bar, being like, I just want to try different beers and whatever. And it was intimidating.
Yeah.
Like, totally.
But I think the brewery atmosphere is so comfortable for
Yeah.
everybody, and that's
Yeah.
what we strive to do for our customers. But so I see it,
Yeah.
being bigger than it is just because the different groups of people coming in, it's just
Yeah.
broader now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And-
why, you said you like to try different beers. I'm surprised a lot of breweries are getting away from like flights and stuff like that because that's what we love to do.
I love a flight.
Go have a flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm the
Yeah.
devil.
Me too.
I'm the devil's advocate. I
Okay.
don't like a flight because I think a brewery you should go there and enjoy a beer, not a flight. You
But
want
you
to sit
enjoy the
down
beer.
and honestly, if you listen back to Austin Street when we interviewed them, they had a very similar thing as they wanted people in the newer location because they had the two locations. They had the one on
Industrial
the
Way.
Industrial Way. And then they had their new one in, was it Graft? What's the town that it's in? Is it still Portland?
Yeah, it's just off.
Just out, yes, the outside outskirts, right? They wanted that place to be, you come in, you have a pint. You want to sit down and enjoy, have a pint, not this like one and done kind of thing.
I think a flight, in my opinion, is good for people coming to a brewery for the first time because it's like when you go to a restaurant and you're like, I want the appetizer appetizer sampler, right? It's
Yeah.
because you're not sure.
Yeah.
And also, when you're a quote unquote new drinker, like
Right.
I might not try your Cocoa Beware.
I don't want a full pour of
that.
anything because I'm
Yeah.
scared
Yeah.
shitless that I'm going to hate it.
Or
And then
And
I
then
don't
what
want to
do
be
you do?
rude.
Right. Yeah.
Right? I'm so scared of like being rude and being like,
Yeah.
I don't like this. And like have to bring like, so I know like at Backbeat where I work now, so we don't do flights there, which I kind of don't like. But his opinion on that is the whole Untapped thing. He doesn't want to feed into Untapped, so he doesn't do flights because
It's a game you have to
what
play,
do you
yeah.
know about that beer from a 5-ounce pour?
True.
You don't know much.
Very true.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can understand that, but at the same time, like I'm right there with you. Like I enjoy a flight for those people who, want to try different things and aren't really sure what they like, especially if we're not a brewery who brews really different styles and you've never had them before. You just want to try it. And,
When I went to Texas,
yeah.
I was getting flights, and I remember the people being like, "Don't you shit on flights in your podcast?" And I was like, "Yes."
Correct.
But
Yes.
at the same time, it's like I don't know what you're getting into. You don't know what you're getting into.
Right.
I like
right.
flights. I feel like when I get a flight, I then get a full pour
Exactly.
of my
Same.
favorite.
Same.
100%.
So that's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm also
What I like
willing
about
to
it.
try something I wouldn't normally try.
Exactly.
Correct.
For example, a
Right.
sour. I'm not really a sour drinker, but I might get it in my flight.
Yeah.
Oh, and trust me, it's like there's been ones with like that cereal lactose beer. It's like I know I'm not gonna like this, but I
And you try and you're like, damn it, I like this.
Nah.
tricks are for kids. And I like this.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I appreciate you guys taking the time out to do this.
Yeah,
now
thank you.
knowing that you're like a 2-person operation, you should advertise that more.
You should, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our spouses
Our
are
spouses.
very involved
I mean-
as well.
Our spouses actually have real jobs as well.
Yeah.
They do. Well, we have real jobs. They have a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monday
Right.
through Friday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Your job is real
Yeah.
too. Own that.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
No, this is the best job. I mean, I really got lucky, I guess,
love
having
it.
to go back to
I love
work.
it.
But a lot of the times, a brewery, people look at it, right? And probably yourselves included, when you go into a brewery, you're like, this is so fucking awesome. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
But you don't realize that it's one person slaving away brewing the beer.
Yep.
2 people running their social media to get people in the door. An investor, it's a humbling thing. And I think more people need to know about that because it's like, it's that age-old adage. It's like if everyone worked in the service industry for 1 week,
Right.
No one would complain.
Everyone would be tipped sufficiently. And everyone
Yes,
would complain,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times at the breweries, like I don't use Untapped, and I purposely do not. We don't talk about beers on our podcast for this reason, but I think a lot of the times people get behind their keyboards on their phones
They're not talking to a face.
and they talk
right?
shit about beer
Yeah.
because it wasn't Treehouse, it wasn't Trillium, it wasn't Russian River, it wasn't Sam Adams, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you don't even realize like these people have a family at home. They have
These are real
another
people
job.
you're shitting on.
Like, you're literally like, if you just knew their backstory, like you would fall in love with it, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot to. I mean, we didn't just walk in and pour beer. You know, there's
9 years
a lot of hard
making.
work. Yeah, a lot of hard work, and
People put their heart and soul to this.
Yeah.
You know?
Sweat equity.
Yeah. And, you know,
I say it all the time. We put blood, sweat, tears into this,
all of the above.
Yeah.
and we did it as a family.
Which is crazy.
So-
Like, I could never do a business with my
Yeah.
kids. Yeah.
Which is harder, but come on, better.
You guys still seem to love each other, so that's
We're
nice.
good. You know, I think our main goal is we all want the same thing. We just want this to be
Yeah.
the best that it can be.
100%.
And outside of here, we're friends. We're just vacationing in Stowe last week.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. They have a couple good breweries.
couple.
Up there too. Yeah.
Just one.
Yeah. Just one. Oh, yeah.
Rude.
Yeah.
No,
Focal
no, a
banger.
lot of good,
Yeah.
a lot of good stuff.
Love them all.
Are you a focal banger or a heady topper?
You're heady all the way.
I used to be focal, but now it's more heady.
Yeah.
I would go for the focal.
Same.
I like her more now.
But I actually like Von Trapp a lot.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you. We had an awesome time hanging out with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, in Idle Time,
Idle
we
Time
had
was a lot of
an
fun, too.
absolute blast.
There.
Yeah.
Went to Ten Bends.
We went to Idletown this time
Yeah.
for lunch.
I had to admit
Yeah.
that I've never seen Sound of Music to a Von Trapp.
My daughter watched it. My daughter watched it when we got home.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we went to Stowe Cider, which
Yeah.
Oh,
actually
Stowe Cider's
is
awesome.
one of my
People.
I
favorite
love
places
Stowe
out
Cider.
there.
Cider.
They have a rosé cider.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Got a couple 4-packs.
Yeah.
And they have like one of those great locations where they're doing like music
And art.
Yeah.
all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Like, for their own spots.
Yeah.
I love it there. I love
I think
the
they
vibe
finally got
there.
their
I love
stage up and going now.
Cool.
Like inside, like since the last time we were there.
Yeah.
I didn't
like
see a
in-
stage.
Yeah, inside.
I wasn't-
they had,
Oh,
like,
in the
those-
back, they're like they were doing
Oh,
work.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
So, more importantly, those are great locations, but we want people to come to Twisted Fate.
Absolutely.
Correct.
We're sitting here at like these German style tables. So obviously you're encouraging people who maybe don't know each other to
Yes.
sit together. Or if you have 6 friends, unlike myself,
There's tables
there's
here
table
for you.
space. Yeah.
We don't either. That's why we work together. Vacation together.
But it's, you're using reclaimed wood in the place. I mean, it's really, pretty.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
and
really nice.
Also, you have an Instagram worthy sign over there. So like, you know what
thank
you're
you.
doing. You know what you're doing. Come
That was
Twisted
probably
Fate.
our one splurge, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I will give credit to our
Smart.
younger sister. We have a sister who's like early 30s, and she's like, "You need the neon sign."
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
I will give her
Came out
credit.
That whole wall was very smart. It's
Yeah.
very
We've seen a couple
Instagrammable.
influencers
Yeah.
with that picture, so we
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it looks really good over there.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, that's an example of collaboration because when I heard they wanted to put green stuff on the wall, I was like, you're nuts.
Yeah, you're nuts.
Green stuff?
No, I think at first you thought I meant like a living wall.
Yeah.
She's like, Kim, that's
I'm like, no.
so expensive. I'm
fucking
like,
way.
What are you
Is
doing?
Now, it would have been cooler if it
Ew.
was hops. No, I'm just kidding.
right?
Won't
Yeah,
judge,
yeah.
but
You know what? This came down to the 9th hour.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We stapled
It
some
looks awesome.
you're
fake
lucky you got
boxwood up
something.
there.
But also, come for the beer. We've had awesome offerings here. I don't typically drink like 2 beers at a brewery, and I drank 2 beers. Eric drank 2.
The brew. I
Ryan,
had
you
3
drank 3?
technically.
I had 4.
Ryan had 4.
Yeah, no, the beers are really good. He definitely knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
it's just a great area. Like, come get some beers. There's tons of restaurants in the area too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
stay, get some food. Like, I mean,
Yep.
there's tons of stuff to do down
Yep.
here. So, get a car and get a beer.
Yeah.
Get a flight.
Yeah,
A
get a
flight.
flight.
And then
yeah.
your
Yeah.
favorite, and then take home a growler.
There you go.
And
Yeah.
some merch. Get some merch.
And
as
the
well.
merch.
Yeah. I would love to do another interview with you guys in a year, just
Sure.
to see what's going on, because a lot
We're
of times-
excited.
Yeah.
A lot can happen in a year.
I hate going to breweries on opening weekend because
Ugh, can't stand it.
it's not fair to judge a brewery on its opening
Yeah.
weekend, because you're learning how to use your Toast POS system
Oh, yeah.
or whatever you're
Yeah.
using.
Your brewing
Your
system.
brewing system.
I think day of, we were like, Dave, how do we use
Yeah.
Square? How do we
It's
figure
still
it out?
So, if you've already tried Twisted Fate Brewing, come on again. And if you haven't, come for the first time. It's awesome.
Yeah, we'd
Awesome.
love to have you.
You got the brewer's stamp of approval. That's the first time I said that. I just made it up.
I love it. Though. I love it.
We're happy to be your first.
Well, I just made it up. So, I mean, like, it's going viral.
It is. I
Yeah.
believe in it.
More importantly, where are you located on social media and physical location? And I know we get this feedback all the time. You can type it in. Just Google it. Shut up. It's fun to say.
So our physical location is 120 Andover Street in Danvers, Mass.
And good parking. by the way.
Yes, in the back as well.
114 spots in
Yeah.
the back.
Yeah.
Dang.
Past Guitar Center.
Yep.
Past Guitar Center.
Yeah.
Suite 4,
And then Facebook pages
Twisted Fate Brewing.
and Instagram is at Twisted Fate Brewing.
Yeah.
I love it.
If your kid's getting a lesson at Guitar Center, you don't want to listen to it, grab a beer here.
We have plenty.
We have families that are doing that.
We have
That is-
regulars.
I love it.
The Danvers Indoor Sports
love
is
it.
right next door too. So
Yeah.
we got. Yep.
I don't blame them.
No, I know.
You can only hear Smoke on the Water so many times, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
Or a rock beat. We haven't asked this question in a while, and you guys are a family. And I kind of like this, but what are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of my brother, to be honest. I am literally amazed every time I taste a beer because he's my brother. I'm like, what is he gonna do? I don't know. And then
No,
he's
is he
like,
the older brother?
yeah,
You
he's
gotta
the
look up
oldest.
to him. I'm the oldest too, so I get it.
I know,
Yeah.
but 3.5 years, boy, girl,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But when he comes out and is like, you got to try this, and it actually tastes like what it's supposed to, I'm pretty blown away still. Like, how? You know, I've seen him back there. I've tried helping any brewer. I mean,
It's hard.
It's very.
yeah, I don't even know what to say about it. It's just the tubing and the
Yeah.
transferring. And I mean, I don't know how.
The mental math, even.
Yeah, right. And I see these sheets, and I'm like, how is he producing this from that that little sheet with his notes? But
Right.
and I'm proud that we pieced this place together. We didn't have a designer. We literally pieced it together as we went.
Yep.
You did a
Yeah.
great job, though.
It looks great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys should be very proud of that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm very. Thank you.
Probably the nicest thing I've ever
Yeah,
said to
Yeah.
We recorded it, so you can listen
Yeah,
back whenever
right.
you
Just
want. Yeah.
rewind.
I'm gonna listen to it every day.
This makes up for throwing away a G.I. Joe in the past.
Yeah.
I'm proud that we got to the point where we opened and we're actually selling beer. And you know, I look at the numbers and it's like, you know, hundreds of people are coming in here every weekend and buying our beer.
Yeah, it's humbling.
It's very humbling.
Yeah.
And you know, I think our space came out amazing. And as she said a few times, I had a vision in my head for 7
Some
years.
crazy guy's vision.
Yeah.
Went to
Oh,
Hopsters once and was like,
Yeah.
I want to make a brewery. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
And this wasn't
Had one
Maybe, yeah.
Santillion that was
Yeah, sold.
Opening a brewery.
Yeah. But we all came together and we all put our ideas in, and I think it looks amazing. to
I
be
do too.
honest.
It does.
I love it.
It really
I
does.
really do. I don't think there's many tap rooms that look like this.
And it's ours.
clean. It's beautiful.
ours.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So
Thank you.
we're very happy with how it came out. A lot of sweat and tears, blood.
Yep. No blood in the beer, though.
My wife,
Nope.
my sister-in-law, and my 77-year-old father-in-law poured that concrete.
On the top, on the
That's
counter.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was quick set, so it was setting within like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
We should have recorded it.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
It was a
We
scene.
should have.
It was a scene.
Oh, I wish there was a time lapse.
We
Yeah.
should have. But also, like, looking at that bar, we're like, we
we own it,
We did it.
We did this. Yeah. We made it.
and we own it, and it's
Yeah.
humbling, and it's very rewarding
Yeah.
as well.
It makes that drive to Southie every night. a
You
little
know,
bit
it's not
easier.
terrible. It's only about 15 miles,
Yeah.
to be honest.
15 miles, it takes
But
45 minutes.
15
Yeah.
minutes?
Yeah.
I'm either here really early,
Yeah, I
so it
bet.
don't matter.
Yeah.
Or
really
really
late.
late.
Yeah.
So traffic hasn't really been an issue, but
Well, I have one challenge for you. Get some more sleep.
thank you.
And other than that, keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Because you're
Because
killing
you're
it.
killing it. Yeah.
Thank you.
And if you're in the area, and if you're not in the area, like drive. It's
Just come up
It's
here.
the summer. Put your AC on. I know gas is expensive, so maybe not the AC, but the windows down.
Yeah.
And come to Twisted Fate.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll
exactly.
see me, Erica, or Sound Guy Ryan, and we'll autograph nothing.
Your face.
Because you won't,
Not nothing. I'll autograph a face.
because you won't
Jeez.
recognize us, but you should drink the beer
Get
here.
a Twisted Fate shirt and you'll autograph it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Good deal.
I won't do that. We're really kidding. You should just go on your own accord and enjoy it. And not only is this brewery here, there's other breweries in the area
Yes.
that are
Yep.
in driving location. And
Yeah.
and if you don't want to go shopping, come here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walmart's right behind us.
That's right.
Exactly.
Well, cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.